who specializes on horoscope, fortune telling, psychic readings, and spiritual guides. With over 30 years of experience, she has been touching lives positively, bringing hope to the broken, healings to the depressed, and answers to the questions about nature. You can call Sister Dubong on 718-253-7273. The number again, 718-253-7273. Or you can also come to 1752 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn in New York. 1752 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, Namakamboe. Oh, Namakamboe.
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
No, man. Number one, David Brown. It's your boy Joving again. Eleleba.
My guy, I got the vibes, I got the juice. I got some girls in the mood. Some girls really like to the groove, yeah. I say I got the vibes, I got the juice. I got some girls in the mood. Some girls really like to the groove, yeah. Them they make us just anytime when we drop money not the language, oh, I got my voltage, oh, got my own page, oh, I roll it down there, roll it.
Feel 'em, drop it down, let the people feel 'em. From the east to the west, all the girls them feel 'em. This brown new sound, everybody them feel 'em. Yeah. Let them make them feel 'em. Drop the sound, the music them feel 'em. All the fine girls them come, them feel 'em. The motor Akwa Ibom, the people them feel 'em. Yeah.
My guy, I got the vibes, I got the juice. I got some girls in the mood. Some girls really like to the groove, yeah. I say I got the vibes, I got the juice. I got some girls in the mood. Some girls really like to the groove, yeah. Wolololo, wololo, 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 wololo. Them they make us just wololo, wololo. Anytime when we drop wololo.
Say I got the juice, I got the vibe. So now me be the guy, she want knock for the night. Say my back and I make her feel alright, are you? Baby, let me be your teacher. Come with your sister, my guys go please you. Cause anything you want, say it there. For this area, come back we start yo. She don't fall for me, it don't go funny. Baby, come let me cover you. Anything you define, call on me, Jovin.
Wow, welcome to the King and Queen Radio. Africa is awake.
Good
And
morning.
yes, and we're awake with you this morning. Good morning, Lot.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning, good
Morning.
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 Wow. Well, I want to say a good morning to you, DJ Pop Bach, too.
Yeah.
Welcome to this great show. We have a great show this morning. I'm waking up. Oof, boy,
Yeah.
I still feel it like if I'm tired, but I'm not tired because I am ready.
Yeah.
I am ready with this beautiful music and all these good things. And already people is already calling in. I know you're excited. You can continue writing me
Yes.
at africanreader@aol.com, and so many topics, so many people wrote so many things,
Yeah.
and we just got so much going on that we're gonna discuss today. Last week, Lot and I had great conversations.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say a good morning out there to my team in America. We just had a great night. It was exciting and fun as always, me and my host.
Yeah.
And we just telling it like it is and enlightening the world and letting people know
Yeah.
how things should be and what they could do
Yes.
and to help themselves. And we also using scriptures from the Bible
Yeah.
to back up everything we say. So
Yes.
again, welcome to this program this morning here in Africa. Africa is awake.
Yes.
So it's so much going on, and I want to say to the team out here, shout out going out there to everybody right now. I want to say a big up to everyone listening.
Yes.
And Patma, good morning to you. Billion, good morning to you. And Billion, it's so much you're doing for the station. We want to thank you and your loved
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
special your special girl. And
Yeah.
again, we want to say a shout out to her. And it's just so much going on in our lives right now. We just got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of subjects we're going to get into.
Yeah.
But I want to say to you out there, Valentine, shout out to you. And David Brown, big up to you. Boy Wire, big up to you. And Trigger Fire, I want to say good morning to you. Smoke, good morning to you.
Yeah.
Chisdom, big up to you. And Jolly Boy, big up to you. And the whole team. And we want you to support our artists. Folks, it's very important to show
Yeah.
your love. And the best way you can show your love is click on the link of all the artists. And
Yes.
that would be a favor. And share and like the pages.
Yeah.
And also go to Sister Dubang special prayers and share and like. That's how you show us how you care and love. We're not asking for money, just telling you to share and like the pages and click on. You're on here, so
Yes.
you must like it. So now go
Yeah.
and do something about it. Show your love right now. We
Yes.
want to see the numbers go up, and we want to thank each and everyone who's cared enough to share and like the pages, not
Yeah.
just look at them and listen to us and
Yes. Yeah.
don't spread the love. And we have Lot Sundays,
Yeah.
and he gonna be giving you special our advocate and manager here in Nigeria, Lagos.
Yeah.
And we like just say a big shout out to all the whole Africa, but Calabar, we have a lot of people there, and we just have to say big up to all that's out there in Calabar right now listening to us
Yeah.
and sharing the love with us. We love you all, and we want to continue this great show every morning, and we want to see how Calabar really care. Get your name on the map.
Yeah.
They calling already. I
Yes.
guess all of Calabar is calling right now.
Oh,
I want to
that's
say
great.
keep on calling because we're busy, and you're going to probably have to call us back later. And that's +1 718 253 7273. And if you're having any troubles in your life, go to Sister Dubong, DOBONG, SisterDubong.com, and you have the special prayers with remedies or spiritual things you can do to get a better quality of life. So don't fail to go to SisterDubong.com, and also get your lucky numbers horoscope, and everything is waiting for you. So I know I said a lot, and again I want to say big shout out there to my out there to my host out there, and very soon we're gonna be starting up a lot of shows, so you'll be able to hear the repeat of the shows,
Yeah.
because we'll be repeating the shows, so you'll be able to hear the shows. So I'm gonna go back there to
Yeah.
DJ Pop Mop.
Yeah, of course. So, morning once again to everyone joining us. In case you're joining us once again, this is King and Queen Radio / Brooklyn Station, and of course, this is Monday Night Show, and it's always me and the CEO herself holding it down to give you the best of the programs. We do this every Monday, and of course, early Tuesday morning in West Africa, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, and of course 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is EST time. So due to the differences of time zone globally, we might have differences of time zone. Some people are listening to this program maybe 6 p.m., some 4 p.m., some 1 a.m., some 3 a.m., some 6 p.m., some people in the morning, like 9-11 a.m. in the morning. So differences of time zone, but we appreciate you guys for always taking to the frequency. A big shout out to our listeners in Belgium. A big shout out to all our listeners in the Pacific, all over the world. We welcome you to this great episode of the Monday Night Show. We always bring you the latest updates, social information, discussion. Stay tuned tonight. Don't forget, Burna Boy just dropped his new banging album, the new whole banger. The album is a banger, so everybody is vibing to that album. That is a very great piece of art. We will be talking about it this morning, and of course there are a lot of things we'll also be talking about as well. The early hours of today, we had there's a news that has been going viral. Stay tuned. You're about to hear a very great gist. Something powerful is about to hit you from Nigeria again. So let's enjoy some songs, and then we come back and start the show proper.
I feel high, you got me on a timeline. Yeah. So call it for me now. Do it once. Baby, give me one dance tonight. Yeah.
Baby, we go down low, tonight. Yeah. Tonight, oh, yeah. Tonight, oh, yeah.
Listening to King
Tonight,
and Queen
oh,
Radio.
yeah. Tonight, oh, yeah. I put my mind for the money.
My mind for the money.
Come dance for the money.
Come dance for the
I take
money.
you down to my mommy.
You dance for my money.
Come dance for me, shawty.
Come dance for me, son.
My mind for the money.
My mind for the money. My mind for the
I
money.
take you down to my mommy.
Dance for my mommy.
You're listening to King
So
and
call
Queen
it for me now. Do it once. So call it for me now. Do it once. So call it for me now. Do it once. So call it for me now. Yeah.
Yo, Sadie. Another
You're
one
listening to
classic.
King and Queen Radio.
Trigger fire. Yeah. Other you. Don't make me leave me alone. Other you. I dey feel that you way you dey make me roll up. And every day and every time you worry me, so you want to be with me. Yeah. Say me throw a face, yeah, me throw a face. Please don't leave me lonely, me throw a face, yeah, me throw a face. Yeah. Me throw a face, me throw a face. Now call it, me throw a face, yeah, me throw a face. Watch out now, yeah. Slide me up on me DM now. She I love the way me sing me song. She say I be real dada, and she ready for your link up the party. Every day so we sign up the party. Girl, she a bubble up for me and make me feel like a key. Me throw a face, yeah, me throw a face. I know you would, please don't leave me lonely. Yeah. Me throw a face, yeah, me throw a face. now calling me flower for yeah. Why let me tell you one thing, girl. She like the way me singing me song and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram. Oh na 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 na, yeah. I'm in love with your shape. I'm in love with everything you do that make me crazy. Scene, I'm in love with your shape. I'm in love with everything they do will make me crazy. Yeah. Shake that body, girl. Get that body, girl. Rock that body, girl. I get my man, that body, girl. Me love the way you make me cry. Ever since you came to my life, you are mine. I wonder if you get that smile. I found that bust my mind. So don't waste my time, and I call it, yeah. Because I'm in love with you now. Me throw a faith, yeah. Me throw a faith. What's the main guy? Me say that now me throw a faith. Yeah. Don't waste my time, Me throw a faith. Me throw a faith, yeah. Yo, Teddy, another one classic man. Right now within a Teddy yard, doing something much more for the girl. Alongside Teddy, so what's up, man? I love the rhythm. Let's up.
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
Give me time on your space. Make all up for the place. I don't got ever done for your love. I give you all that you dream of. I'm more than a good, she nice. She give me all the melody and vibes. I'm more than a good, she nice. Oh, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Some of them are young, some of them are snitching. She be my melody, I've been searching. She's the fine girl I've been searching for, yeah, yeah.
I'ma get Eminado. She fine past 3, mommy, what now? Your waist personality, they cause kata kata. Oh, I'm tempting to touch your body, oh. If you don't know, you gon' know.
Loving you is all I want to do. Make you not come turn me to moo.
I'ma get shaky like that, like a dance for me, Jaji. Come rotate it for your Zaji, yeah. Black drop top Maserati, yeah. I'ma get shaky like that, though, like a dance for me, Zaji. Come rotate it for your Zaji, yeah. Black drop top Maserati, give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me time on your side, make all up for the
Yeah, what a beautiful morning. I'm enjoying the music, and Lot, you got me for some apparently reason. Just woke up, and I tell you, I woke up.
Feeling strong.
And Africa is awake.
Yes.
And I want a lot. This is very strange. A lot of people wrote in and asked, and I know you can come up with a very good answer.
Okay.
Why is Africa turning away from the United States?
Okay.
And this is something going on, and it's really need to be talked about. And do you think, and I think we have talked this before, but we need to go in a little detail, why is Africa turning away from the United States?
Okay, I think it has to do with the changing of times and relationship between United States and African nations. Because if you look at the previous generation, there has been a smooth transition of, like I would say, after slavery, this generation is beginning to like fight the Western wall in retaliation to what the West did to Africa during the time of slavery. And apart from that, the past ancestors were a bit forgiving, but this generation seems to be different. And there's been a shift, a generational shift, and that shift is part of one of the ways for which we call it Africa is the way. And differences of cultures, differences of relationship, differences of beliefs, differences of political systems, and any other the pattern and the level of charisma the Western world has on Africa. Once upon a time, every other thing, there was a time that Africans were like mimicking the West. Everything we have to speak like in slang, like the West. We have to dress like the West. We have to do certain things like the West. But in my own generation, and I'm proud of this generation, that we are a bit different, even though we have our own limitations. But this generation is quite different, and they said, no, look, we need to be proud of ourselves. We need to be proud of who we are. We need to be proud of where we come from. This is our identity. This is our roots. This is our culture. This is our richness. This is our own diversity. This is our own gift. And so we need to understand that no matter what we do, we cannot change our own identity. Just like, they said, our African ancestors said, no matter how a lizard beats its chest, it can never be a crocodile. So it means like, a lizard will always, I don't know if you people have opportunities to see lizard on the cracked walls or something. In Africa, we do see them. When you see a lizard, the next thing you see them beating their chest or heads or something. So our ancestors says, no matter how this lizard beat their chest themselves, no matter how they do, they can never be a crocodile. They have the texture of a crocodile. They look like crocodiles, but they can't be the crocodile. So the one thing we need to understand is that Americans cannot be Africans and Africans cannot be Americans. I'm not talking about the ancestral aspect, because I'm a believer that every other race came from Africa, and America is, black. We Africans are the parent ancestors. So this has always been my belief. But in respect to the question you ask, the changing relationship between the United States and the African nation has caused this shift, to occur. Because I don't really think it's just the clashes of differences of cultures and environment, but it's just we're no longer adopting every other part of pattern of culture or popular culture from the West anymore like before. This is why Afrobeat has become so powerful in the recent times, even though any other, I would say, some people would say all music were originated from the blacks, so which I believe is 70 to 80% true, and I don't 100% agree, because music has been as old as man. As long as we humans are concerned, music has always been there since Genesis, since the beginning of time. So the blacks contributed to jazz, to reggae, to Afrobeat, to rock and roll, alternative, blues, rhythm and blues, pop music, and then except for the country music, which of course we know that is where I don't know much about that, but the rest of the genres of which the black community has contributed so much immensely to the growth of entertainment. So to me, I think to advance, the U.S. interest effectively, Africa policy must be based on a realistic assessment of other activities on the continent. So we need to understand that there's difference between our international or bilateral relationship and then our Africa to United States relation. These are political, economic, cultural ties between the United States and the independent African countries. Like I said, it is very, very key and important for us to understand why the times are changing and why people do that. Now, let me tell you, let me give you an instance. If you see a kid in Africa, if you see an ant on the ground, for example, naturally a white kid will go ahead and play with that ant. But if it is a black kid, he will trample on that ant, he will match it. That is just a difference of that is a difference of environment. But because it doesn't mean that black people are bad or white people are bad or every other person is bad or good. No, it's just differences of environment. Now, if you go to other parts of the world, those type of ants, that specific type of ants are not poisonous. But if you come to Africa or some parts of places in Africa, some ants are very, very super poisonous. Now, if you go to other countries like a snake in Africa, a black mamba, you can get a black mamba only in Africa. You can't get a black mamba in South America. No, but you cannot get anaconda in America. I mean in Africa, sorry, but you can get an anaconda in South America. Differences of environment, differences of region. So the way humans adapt to environments is also another thing. Now, in terms of the economic situation, just look at today. Look at the way we are in Africa today. Our currency are being devaluated, and then the dollar is still strong. Other currencies, the pounds and the rest of British pound and the rest of them are still strong. And then it begins to make you have some big questions, and you begin to ask certain type of question, or why certain things happen. And why Africa? Why always Africa? So if you dig deep, you will understand that there's a lot of manipulation going on, and it's too bad that it's coming against Africa. And Africa has always been a forgiving type of has always been a forgiving nation, because the people let the bygones go, let it go, and then we just overlook and. I appreciate and love that kind of spirit of forgiveness, where people need to understand that it is a gift, not just a gift. It is very powerful to forgive. To be able to forgive and learn from it is another thing also. So the black community, especially in Africa, just like you said, is a bit turning away from the West. Is politically turning away from the West. An example of what is happening in Niger, Mali, Senegal, Burkina Faso, and the rest of them. They say, look, we're tired of you guys. We're tired of your manipulations in Africa. We're tired of your diplomatic relations in Africa. We're tired of certain things that you do, and you are not supposed to be our deciding factor. We are supposed to decide for ourselves and rule our country, rule our nation the way we want it to be. So you are not the one to tell us how to rule our own country. Like an African man cannot go to the United States and tell the United States government how to rule its own affairs. So the same thing happened to these people. So they said, look, we're tired. You need to leave us alone. We need to rule our own countries. We need to harness our own resources by ourselves. Make finished products by ourselves. We don't have to be dependent on the Western world for finished products when the resources is actually coming from us. It is a long process, but if people are already having the resources and everything, they can just harness it from the country here and produce more jobs, create more jobs opportunity for the youth, for the masses, and for everyone. So it boosts the economy of our nation, of our countries. But because of this manipulation and diplomatic activities that has been going on in Africa for a very long time, these are some of the reasons why I believe that Africa is turning away from the Western world in general, not just United States. Now, another thing to take note, and very, very important as well, is also the issue of cultures, the differences of cultures. Like now, I don't know how strong fanaticism is in the States. In Africa, fanaticism is seriously being dealt with. In the States, you're not allowed to beat a child. You can't take a cane and beat a child, because I passed through the teaching system when I was in the teaching in some of the schools here in Nigeria. We're allowed to punish children. There are corporal type of punishments you give to a child depending on the level of crimes or the level of things they did in the school. So you are allowed to, there's a reward for punishment. You will be able to correct a child. When the child makes a mistake, you'll be able to tell the child, say, look, don't repeat that. It is not good. At least you tell the child that this act should not be repeated. But in the Western world, you don't beat a child. You beat a child, you end up in the court. You'll be answering your honor. You'll be answering, a lot of questions. That is the difference of culture. The African culture is different from the Western culture. We discipline children. We impute African and cultural values into them. No matter how they grow up, they won't deviate from it. And I am a living example of being brought up in a family where it is very strict. My dad is super strict. My mom was strict. My mom will beat you for a crime that you don't commit. You didn't even do anything. She would just, once she hear that you have a fight, maybe a kid's having a fight or feud with somebody around, my mom will beat me even if the other kid is at fault, not me. She will beat me in the first place. Why would you go there to go and fight? So this is how some of us were raised. And if you notice the difference, the differences of culture is it has an impact in the life of the children when they grow up. Like in the later years, when the children become useful to the society, productive to the society, there's an impact of culture. There's a cultural impact that happens to occur in the life of an adult when he or she grows up. So sometimes we say, the Holy Scripture says you can train a child the way he or she should grow, so that when they grow, they will not depart from it. So I believe that the differences of culture, economic relation, political systems, and others, and other forms of platforms that are also making or creating this difference is the reason why Africa is turning away from the Western world. Another thing is the political system. The way politics is run in the States is different from the way politics is run in Africa, and there is an international interest in the politics of Africa. Like, let's take the case of Liberia, for example. Sirleaf Johnson, the one of the longest serving presidents in Africa. She's a female, she's a woman, very powerful figure, a very intelligent mother who ruled Liberia for more than 10 or more than 15 years. I was very small when I heard of Sirleaf Johnson. I used to read her speech in newspapers. When my dad would buy some newspapers, and when I was very small, I could read, and then my dad has the opportunity of bringing newspapers, and that was how some of these things started. So I used to read about Sirleaf Johnson, and I was like, this woman is So when I begin to dig deep about some of her achievements, I later discovered that the United States played a key role in putting Sirleaf Johnson as the president of Liberia, thereby making some conflict and disagreement with Charles Taylor, the former Charles Taylor, who ran away from Liberia and came to Nigeria for refuge when he was being chased out. So you need to understand that there are politics. I think is a game to some extent, and then it also has its interest. Because if it's either it is the interest of the people or it is the interest of the leader. So most often at times, when people play the interest of the people enjoy the governorship. The people enjoy that particular leadership. But when the interest is being played for the interest of certain types of people, then that is where the problem comes in. That is when the greed comes in. That is when the hate, the disrespect, and the gluttony comes in. So, a leader will say, no, I have this instead of me. I will give only to my family. I will give only to my friends. You don't care about your people. You are supposed to be the voice of your people. And then you change that. So, the type of leadership that is being in Africa is different from the one in the States. I think every other political system is corrupt, but the one in Africa is quite different from the one in the States. And a time has come that where some of these West African countries say, no, We're no longer following the pattern of your democracy. We're no longer following the way of which you do your democracies in the states. No, we want to govern our people. We want to rule our own people. We want to give them, our people, a voice. We want to raise our hands in the sky and say, we are the warriors of our own people. We are the voice of our masses, and say we need to stand against injustice, against nepotism, and all kinds of capitalism. But in other parts of the world, especially in the Western world, capitalism is thriving. So you see, this type and they go hand in hand, but they also have the repulsion of these differences. These are some of the reasons why Africa is turning away from the United States or the Western world, politically, economically, culturally, and socially. Take for example today, another thing is the issue of racism, and somehow, some way, one of the best ways to deal with racism is sometimes not even to mention the word at all. I don't like mentioning the word at all because of the differences we humans have brought to ourselves. So if you go to other places, there some people tend to treat the black communities harsh. It's very, very bad, and that alone is more than a sin against humanity. We are all humans. How can we have the same nose, the same hair, the same brain size, the same heart, the same posture, and everything, and then the skin just comes out different as a result of environmental or climatical factors, and then we begin to hate ourselves because of skin? No. It's not. This has not. I've not heard. There was a time JJ Okocha said he didn't even know that he was a black person until he went to Germany. He said JJ Okocha is an international player from Nigeria here. He's an Igbo guy. He has played for Nigeria for brought so much achievement. He has influenced the likes of Ronaldinho, Messi, Kaka, and the rest of them. These guys have always given reference to JJ Okocha. And he said he didn't know he was black until he went to Germany. So you know what that means. He has summarized everything in one sentence. So the kind of things people show him over there was so disgusting that he has to, remind himself that he said the only way to beat these people, the only way to fight this negativity is to play football against them very well. And that was when he brought the skills of dribbling. He dribbled the Germans so much that they have no option than to retain him there. He has been playing for them for a very long time, and after some time, they actually don't play racism against him anymore. Before he was transferred to Bolton Wanderers, and sometime he left to other clubs. But what am I saying in essence? All I'm saying is that the guy has received so much negativities and biasism when he was there. So one of the ways is to use your gift and talent and fight for your own voice. You cannot fight the people sometimes physically because they might have certain powers over you, but then you can use your own power, which is your own gift, your own hidden abilities, to fight racism. So which is why King and Queen Radio is one of the great radio stations, and as a multicultural station, we bring people together all over the world and tell you how beautiful and how wonderful you are. Don't forget to also call us if you want to send a shout out to a loved one. Call us on 718-253-7273 +1 718-253-7273, and we will be able to send your loved ones a shout out. So a big shout out to all our listeners out there in the city of Lagos, here in Abuja, in Calabar, and of course River State, Port Harcourt, and of course Ibadan, Oyo, Ogun State, and all our brothers and sisters all over the country, and to all our sisters all our brothers and sisters all over Africa. We're sending you a big shout out, and we hope that you are liking this show. And then you'll be able to join us from anywhere as soon as we go live on all our social media platforms. You'll be able to drop your comments there, and then of course your messages will be read out.
Well, if you just join us now, don't forget you listen to King and Queen Radio Show.
Yeah.
And we on every Monday night from 9 to 12. That's in New York City, WVIP 93.5 FM, King and Queen Radio, and we continue from 12 midnight until 2 a.m. in the morning. And of course, Africa time is 5 hours ahead, so you know the difference and calculate it. So
Yeah.
that's how we do it. And we're so happy to have you all here with us this morning. You can simply write me africanreader@aol.com. That's AFRICANREADER@aol.com.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about the artists. I'm going to let Lot talk about the artists to you,
Yeah.
and tell you where you can get all their music, and make sure you click on the links.
Yeah, as a way of giving back to the African communities, King and Queen Radio is supporting artists from all over the globe. And if you know that you're good, you can send us your song to africanreader@aol.com. Let's hear your songs from whichever part of the world you are. As long as you are talented, that you have the gift, and then you'll be able to pull the crowd, and you'll be able to generate a lot of traffic in what you do. You can send your music to africanreader@aol.com, and then we'll be able to listen to the song, and then we'll reach out to you back. Now, another thing is, King and Queen Radio has some artists that we have been promoting for a very long time, and all their social media platforms and handles are with us on the station's page on kingandqueenradio.com on our website. When you visit that, you see our artist page, you see the staff page, and then every other details is there, www.kingandqueenradio.com. And of course, we have Smoke's Kitchen, David Brown, Jolly Boy, Trigger Fire, Chris Dame. We have DJ Pat Marks as well, and of course the list goes on and on and on. So if you have a song, like I said, you can send it to africanreader@aol.com. Please support our artists. It will go a long way just by sharing. Just like the CEO Zena Palin herself said in the early hours, in the introductory aspect of the show, when she said, you need to support our artists. You don't even need to give a donation or anything, but if you want to support the artist through donation, it will go a long way. But most often, you just need to share their links, preferably, and when you listen to their songs, it generates traffic, on which the streaming platforms gains to pay them back in future. So we appreciate you so much for always tuning to this great frequency, 93.5 FM King and Queen Radio and Brooklyn Station. And of course, if you need spiritual prayers, don't forget Sister Dubong is always the best website to visit for your horoscope, psychic reading, and spiritual guide. www.sisterdubong.com. Sister together with DOBONG.com. Let's enjoy some songs, and then we come back and continue with the show.
Bless me, you can never hear complaining. Jesus peace and I get money on me. Also, yeah, look on me. They can try, but they never will be me. Man gon' shine every time, every season. Good life, not the trophy. Bad man, we get OT. You might come from nothing, but no, don't stay nothing. Good life, not the trophy. Bad man, we get the OT. Oh, you might come from nothing, but no, don't stay nothing. Because I be hustler, me I do money for the popular. Everywhere I go for the popular. Everybody knows I be hustler, I be hustler, I be hustler. Me I do money for the popular. Everywhere I go for the popular. Everybody knows I be hustler. Everybody say oh, oh, say oh, oh, say yeah, yeah. Everybody say oh,
they say I'm selfish, acting that it wants more, yeah. But shine my way, my feelings that deep. I'm just living on somebody's babe. Oh no, no, I can't get that love for myself. Say everybody's fine, but they can't be you. Even if they wanted to do, even if they try, I say envy you. But you belong to someone, and I'm singing. I'm just craving for somebody, babe. Oh, no, no. I can't get that love for myself.
bad impression, baby, I'm impressed. The feeling's joke, you want to suffocate. But you got a man and I came with my babe. Before the camera catch me for fucking. Got up better for play. Something will go sweet in my body. If you're out, you call me. When I let it die, I'm 5'6", my girl won't like this. Make group chat to talk in my chest. Come try this, so plus romantic. But deep down, we should not be doing this in the patio. I know you feel like we're not, you know. Sure you want to mission impossible. I hope you know. Nobody has to know.
Back on my teens, gonna stay outside. Put down for it, I'm alone. Now push me, now push me. If not your babe, I won't know. Back on my teens, gonna stay outside. Put down for it, I'm alone. Now push me, now push me. If not your babe, I won't know.
Ìyanu yẹn ṣọ́ọ̀kì wọn bá kan bíi ti bad boy things. Say wetin go be go be. Dem no fit hold me on G. Wọ́n lélẹ̀ o. From ojú ẹlẹ́gbàá to ìkàtẹ́ o. I show them pepper kí n tó sálẹ̀ o. Because I know my dream, mi ò kéré o. Jazz on jazz, but their jazz don't cast. Only strong feet to feel survive. See I'm for my dream as I wear my crown. Get down on my knees and I pray to Jah. Person wey no walk, oh, tell me how you want chop, man I don't know no. Heavenly sound from the street, that's how we roll. Yeah, èmi yóò kéré, sọ fún máa wo ẹni kankan. Èmi yóò kéré o, sọ fún máa wo ẹni kankan. Unzanza, Olúwa, unzanza, Olúwa, unzanza. Olúwa, unzanza, Olúwa, unzanza. Olúwa, unzanza, Olúwa, unzanza. Olúwa, unzanza, Olúwa, unzanza. So many things are coming. How many me I want up? So many friends they envy. But me I know they see them. I said the guy that they look at it now. Anybody want move my con. Emi lo mo tani kò lè pagan. Now I they do big thing I be lion. My head strong past coconut. Them try them no reach me on God. Anything where you wish me I wish you back. I'ma make a focus on my grind though. Person wey no walk, oh, tell me how you want chop, man I don't know no. Heavenly sound from the street, that's how we roll. Yeah, èmi yóò kéré, sọ fún máa wo ẹni kankan. Èmi yóò kéré o, sọ fún máa wo ẹni kankan.
I've been trying to tell you since baby I did love you today. I am gonna soup my fufu, you know say you be my lady. My baby don't mean no do be a the ready. Don't let them know. See I got plans for you. Don't let them know. Let them know I got some plans for you. Don't let them know. Let them know. See I got plans for you. And if you should let them know. Examination, matriculation, I enter the exam, but see, say I don't know I will put the one way I do doesn't really matter, cause I will get a seizure. As a nervous student, I will get a seizure. I dey kick ball, but I'm not the coach. I dey talk more, but I'm not the preacher. I dey louder, but I'm not the speaker. I say, don't let them know. Don't let them know how we go. Don't let them know, baby, don't let go. Don't let them know how we go. I could steal your heart to say, I could deal with the body that throw it. Don't let them know. See, I got plans for you. Don't let them joking. I had a split Friday but no smoking. In the room we're in, so I suggest something. We should just go out and we should blow something. Like, what's poppin'? Just like, ooh, what's poppin'? I like you, what's poppin'? Ooh, what's good, what's poppin'? Just like, what's poppin'? Just like, ooh, what's poppin'? I like you, what's poppin'? Ooh, what's good, what's poppin'?
Yes, I'm single, but I'm not joking. Cause I'm scared you gon' leave me broken. Even when I hesitate, stuck in my ways. Would you let me be or is you controlling? I said that we should chill and kick back. Feel brand new, blow some smoke and sip brand liquor till I lose my sense.
See my baby captivate, you can't relate. You know they concentrate on just the ways. I know go down, you ain't got time to waste. But she step in the room, the crowd shake, let go. Girl, it's something they do, and I might move the way you do. Something way I like you too. Are you single with it or you just joking? I had a split Friday but no smoking. In the room we're in, so I suggest something. We should just go out and we should blow something. Like, what's poppin'? Just like, ooh, what's poppin'? I like you, what's poppin'? Ooh, what's good, what's poppin'? Just like, what's poppin'? Just like, ooh, what's poppin'? I like you, what's poppin'? Ooh, what's good, what's poppin'?
You know me not have to pretend. I see where it starts and ends like Pisces. Slippery whenever it wet. Make you rewind like a tape cassette. Tell me what you see when you put your eyes on me. Tell me what you see. Is it me or my body? You know what I'm into. You know what I've been through. I keep my mind on my money. I don't wanna hurt you.
Something way I like you too. Are you single with it or you just joking? I had a split Friday but no smoking. In the room we're in, so I suggest something. We should just go out and we should blow something. Like, what's poppin'? Just like, ooh, what's poppin'? I like you, what's poppin'?
Mama said, you don't need no interception. You are perfect because of your imperfection. Anywhere, any direction, where you go say, never beg for no affection. Melo ni mo fẹ́ sọ, in detention, they won't put me under pressure. Wọ́n fẹ́ pọ́n kan tí mo fẹ́ sọ, but now I got people waiting for my next. Some just dey tell me right on, no be say na me do pass. Baba just decide to give me true pass. He look my life and give me 2 chances. And as I'm up, I'm right on, but still I know 2 gas. I know they go to church, but I know 2 jazz. Now you see I'm living good life. Cause many things. I know say I'm small, but my eyes don't see. Many things be like I cross 7 mountains and 7 seas. I still insist, okay, I know they resist me. I don't hustle, now the cash no contain my chains. But no be so it be yesterday. Life go teach you past professor on the road. So no ask me where I learn from. Always moving with precaution, man, I swear say you know if you catch me for junction. Ever since I dropped my first song, me I know say the next one go be the best one. Give me got to do my tongue, so me my eye to see. Melo ni mo fẹ́. Some just dey tell me right on, no be say na me do pass. Baba just decide to give me true pass. He look my life and give me 2 chances. And as I'm up, I'm right on, but still I know 2 gas. I know they go to church, but I know 2 jazz. Now you see I'm living good life. Cause many things. I know say I'm small, but my eyes don't see. Many things be like I cross 7 mountains.
I've been waiting for you all my life. Say me this loving me no pass me by. This kind of loving me be tight. I'm a girl for the table, I go open your gates. Just gotta let you come my life. I know if you let you run away this time. And I gotta let you know, say many things they bust up my mind, okay. Baby girl, you're the best for me. Sometimes she wake up and she dress for me. Oh, ain't nobody talk about you, but I grace. God punish that destiny. Say baby girl, you be my destiny. Till the end of my life, baby girl, you're my company. Yeah, I'm in the zone, you're in the zone. Love this electric vibe. No one tests this electric vibe. Baby girl, I really wanna waste my time on you. Bad man there when you're calling, say bad man really there for you when you're calling, baby girl, no trolling, say bad man really there for you when you're calling, every day, every minute, every day, she know I let the gun play, on a really rough day, and when she dance on the beat of the grace, she dey make a man crazy. She say my love will make her crazy. They say she need me many days, need me for the pain. I'm in the zone, you're in the zone. Love this electric vibe. No one tests this electric vibe. Baby girl, I really wanna waste my time on you. Bad man there when you're calling, say bad man really there for you when you're calling, baby girl, no trolling, say bad man really there for you when you're calling, What's on your feet and beat the ground for you. Hang on your love until the sky turn blue. Girl, I know go and the chase for you. Girl, for you, it's true. I'm in the zone, you're in the zone. Love this electric vibe. No one tests these electric vibes. Baby girl, I really wanna waste my time on you. Bad man there when you're calling, say bad man really there for you when you're calling, baby girl, no trolling, say bad man you at the same time.
Well, I have something I want to talk about with you this morning.
Yeah.
And as we understand, African is awake.
Yes.
And as African wake up,
yes,
there's things starting to happen. A lot of people may not be ready for the new changes in Africa.
Yes.
And I think Mother Africa say, well, you know, I had enough. And a lot I would like for you to tell the people about how Africa is forming into two new continents.
Okay, yeah.
That's right, into two new continents. An ocean as it slowly divides into two.
Okay, yeah.
The ocean is starting to divide in two, and that's going to separate Africa from Africa. Okay. So, what is your research on that? I know I put you to do a lot of research this week.
Yeah.
But this is things that need to be talked about because Africa is awake. And we are awakening the people also so they can be ready for the new changes. Because I know how we all like to stay in our old customs and our old ways. But sometimes Mother Nature say it's time for a new change. So we need to start preparing our youth and our children for the future.
Yes.
A lot of shows is too busy showing how the stars, showing off their bling bling and all the rest. We are showing people how to survive and what's going on really into the world.
Yes.
And there's so much going on because Africa oceanic crust is starting to form. And it's really, it will however take millions of years for Africa to be sliced into two unequal parts, but it's happening.
Yeah.
So things are changing. So let's get ready for the new changes because Africa is awake. So again, give us your insight.
Well, you know, there has been a change. This is what we have been telling the world over and over and over. I think when you talked about this sometimes, I was so happy because, you know, it's something that will enlighten a lot of people. You know, for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions, through measuring of carbon dating, you know, last time we talked about humans coming from Africa, from the land of origin, and I told people, I said that there was a time when the climate changes of the world, where the climate conditions of the world was having impact on the human skin. That was why a lot of people lost their pigmentations today, and we see them as white, but the parents' ancestors is from Africa. So, like I said, if you move out of Africa and go to another country and spend like 10-15 years, if if your skin didn't change when you give birth to children, the children will come out respective of that environment. The skin color would come out affected by the conditions of that very environment. Believe me, it has been proven, it is real, it is happening. There are a lot of black brothers and sisters out there that they are already white because they lost their pigmentations. Of course, there are so many of them. I wouldn't want to, because their parents migrated from their own parent origin, and then they moved to a very new location, and then over time, their pigmentations were affected by the climatical conditions of that environment. So this was what happened, and a lot of things happened in the past, over thousands of years, and then humans begin to evolve. But now the evolve is going to take a very long time before it happens again. So now, talking about the Africa dividing into two halves by a huge rift and will create another ocean, I think this is a shift. This is as the world is changing, the water is moving, the oceans are riving, and then as the world rotates, a lot of changes occur in our own planet. And this change and occurrence is something that doesn't happen in a day or something. Take a look at the eclipse. The eclipse of the sun or the eclipse of the moon takes, if not hundreds of years to happen. It takes a lot of time before it happens, even not thousands. It takes a lot of time, years, before it will happen. So these are things that take eons before they could happen. It takes a very long time, and if we are privileged to witness it in our generation, then we're lucky. This was not how the world is. When it was created, it was different. So the world was changing before this part of the world is the way it is. The first thing that was created was water. Water was just there, darkness, and then the dry land appeared. And then according to the story of creation, I don't know whichever one you believed, but Africa was the first. I believe that Africa was the first and will always be the first. And Africa has not always been prone to natural disasters like earthquake and like volcanic eruptions like in other parts of the world. Like if you go to Italy, you go to Rome, or some places like what's the name of Pompeii was destroyed by volcanic eruption. And other parts of the world, like in the Southeast Asia, Japan, China, they do have tsunamis and earthquakes. And if you go to other parts of Europe, they have volcanic eruptions. So the world is changing, and these climatical changes will continue to happen until it gets to another thing. So I would say, permit me to use the word chemistry. The chemistry of this planet is different from the way we used to know it because of change. Like I said, everything is subjected to change. So as the world rotates, change occurs. And as people are coming and going, change occurs. And as innovations are coming, change occurs. So in time to come, this might not happen, but Africa could be split into two parts, just like you said, and it's true, by the formation of a new ocean in this distant future. This is based on what our scientists or the researchers have said. So two major sections of the continent could be splitted apart in the result creation of a new body of water like an ocean. So it would mean that the landlocked countries such as maybe, for example, Uganda, Zambia could have coastlines in fewer years. So the formation of East African Rift, maybe some kilometers in the desert of Ethiopia, formed in 2005, marked the beginning of the creation of a new sea. So these things are pretty much perfectly calculated in order for this to happen. It has been seen. When I was in school, one of the favorite subjects I loved was geography. I love geography so much, because that was when I started learning about location, countries, and people's culture, and their presidents, and and all of that. That was when I started developing interest for countries over countries and countries and the rest of them. It started from geography. So these people have the gift of studying the environment and observing its change and how it occurs and its impact to the society. So it is when they make certain predictions like that, they might not be 100%, but when they say something will happen, this has a high chances of occurring. Not just like that, because they read from the evidence. There's something they used to measure it called the seismograph. So from a seismic data that were presented in the journal Geography Research Letters, demonstrating that the formation of the rift was driven by tectonic process similar to those occurring at the bottom of the ocean. So that rift was identified as the edge of 3 tectonic plates that have already been drifting apart for some time: the African, Nubian, African, Somali, and the Arabian. So deep down in the ocean, a lot of things are going. In the earth crust, beneath the earth surface, a lot of things are going on. So this could be chemical reactions, chemical changes. The more the earth changes, and only God knows other names we could give it. So, but this change are happening, and over time, some of these things will come to reality. So, as these scientists continue to get more and more and more evidence, they will continue to come up with results. So they will have the GPS tracking that will continue to measure this movement, and then they will keep making and alerting the world to know what will happen. So it is good for us to always be aware of some of these things, because they are actually, we may say it's not it has nothing to do with us, but no, it does. So we need to understand that too.
Well, I know it's time for us to talk about a little food.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to tell you a lot. But my favorite food, and I want to see, have you tried it yet, Lot?
Yeah.
Gizdodo.
Oh, yeah.
Gizdodo, when I eat that, it blows my mind. Ooh, it's nice and spicy. So,
Okay.
Lot,
Yeah.
tell us about Gizdodo and tell us how you would make it.
Okay.
And if you don't know, then I have to tell you next week how to make Gizdodo.
Oh, okay.
But I know you will know a lot, so come on, bring it up. Because
Yeah.
I know everybody hungry and
Yeah.
everybody wants some Gizdodo. And all the Americans and everybody listen worldwide, you're going to learn about Gizdodo.
The thing is, we have differences in other culture. In Africa, we don't actually call it gizdodo. It's actually like you can call it maybe a porridge, but it's not actually a complete porridge, but it has its own name. I can't remember the name in Yoruba, but there's a name for it in Yoruba, and there's a special name for it even in my own tribe, in Angas. So gizdodo is a combination of plantain and chicken gizzards, prepared from chicken gizzards, plantain mixed in pepper sauce. We call it pepper soup here. And this recipe is great for midweek or weekend dinners because it's usually so straightforward and of course tasty. So gizdodo is good. It's a simple dish that delivers great flavor with minimal effort. You don't have to suffer yourself like a chef, like a pro chef in the kitchen. Put this, put that, put this, put that. No, you just need few ingredients: plantain, chicken gizzard, plenty of them, and maybe you could add some pepper sauces, and then some spices, and then you add up to your taste. So boiled pieces of gizzard are deeply fried. Mixed fried plantains poured over a simmering pepper and tomato sauce, tossed with onions and green bell peppers, yellow bell peppers and orange bell peppers. You could add other flavors that you want, but gizdodo is good. It's good. What will actually give you some stress is how you able to get more and more and more gizzards, chicken gizzards. That's where the work is. So you have to need like 10, 15, 20 gizzards, except depending on how you eat, depending on how you consume meat. So it's good, gizdodo is good. It's good. So for this morning, I will recommend you to have some light breakfast, have a good breakfast, and then watch what you eat healthy and stay strong. And of course, remember, we actually told you that Burna Boy dropped his new album titled I Told Them. Title of the album is I Told Them, and I've pretty much listened to the songs and they're pretty much good. And of course, where did I head it? King and Queen Radio. King and Queen Radio, the only station where you get latest songs every single day. Every single day when a song's drop, you get it on King and Queen Radio. Even if it's not available for the public, you'll be able to get it on King and Queen Radio. So the Burna Boy album was fire. When I heard it, I was like, wow, this guy is putting in a lot of work. And if I'm going to be an artist, these are the type of people I should be making music like, or like kind of competing with, you know, because they kind of inspire me for much. So one of the songs I would love to play from that album is called City Boy. So ladies and gents, let's enjoy some songs, and I would like to hear your review about Burna Boy's album. And of course, this is not somebody's request. I'm just, let's just hear some of the songs from that album, just one or two, and then we and then we continue with the show. So let's enjoy some songs from Burna Boy, and then we come back and continue with the show.
Hey yo, I'm not even gonna lie, I used to call myself an ugly you, but I'm not even an ugly you. I'm a sexy you, you understand? Girl all over the globe wanna up me, you understand?
Girls in my crib, zero Snapchat, zero Instagram, posting. Fuck up the vibe, my day start falling like London Bridge. I don't care if I saw you in a magazine or if you're on TV. That one don't mean nothing to me. Don't need a shower, baby, I need a free. Lick it like ice cream, as if you mean to be disgusting. It's nothing, drop my banana. One side I like it, no stopping, go shopping, fuck that. If I go Dorado, breakfast don't fall. You daddy muja come. As you are champagne in my mood. Crazy girl from the ghetto, girls from uptown. That's the life of a city boy. Oh yeah, Dama. Oh yeah, Jello. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Mama Sheba, come back on. Make me the start to the paragon. Start to the halagon. Cause you know some my people they calagon. Oguno Makbawa. As I hating on us, make me manyamo. You know I be my father's son. Cause you know say I come from Potako. That's why I'm a jago. Start to the dance, I'm like I do. Koni Tolago, I go show you say bounce and Tolago. Cause I be city boy, and as I day for the street they give me joy. Lamborghini boy, put them on so Jesus and I'm not religious. Oh I know, if I go Dorado, breakfast don't fall. You daddy muja come. As you are champagne in my mood. Crazy girl from the ghetto, girls from uptown. The life of a city boy. Oh yeah, Dama. Oh yeah, Jello. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Hey yo, I'm not even gonna lie, I used to call myself an ugly you, but I'm not even an ugly you. I'm a sexy you, you understand? Girl all over the globe wanna up me, you understand?
My scene, fighting. I'm a street fighter like I sing. And I don't care what I like sing. Me I like dark and I like skin. Girl them sugar like whiz, yeah. All them girls I like trees, yeah. Most of my girls I like trees, yeah. All of them girls I like me, yeah. Give me, to me, baby. Give me, fuku give me, body on me, put it on me. Really, bad bunny, bami nibi, fumi nibi, I'm a load to tori.
Now your sign, baby girl, I want that. All of the things where you do, I want Chris. Now me and you, everything I want that. Every duty, make a nigga want that. If not Chris, baby girl, I want Chris. If not there, baby girl, I want that. By your side, baby girl, I want that.
she wanna love me by force. She said that WC wanna be yours. That's why she start to give me kisses and hugs. She said she no go ever leave me because us. Yeah, she love me of course, and she know say WC not the source. She want heaven on earth and more, so I'm shooting it up to the stars. Yeah, give me, to me, baby, baby, give me, super, give me, body on me, put it on me.
They call me Ogaraya. There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. When I step in at the place, then they Maya. They call me Ogaraya. They call me Ogaraya.
Oja daddy wallet down Illuminati. Afusai boy in at the party. Oh, the coco jomalo so jati jati. Bring your bread, money, butter to my fussy. Baby girl is double, uku uku. Loni bam bam, baby shuku shuku. Oja D murder them, dubu. Shama woman here, baby, look. I get the money, I get the cash. You get the Bobby, you get the yash. You like to poro koto all the time. I like to fiki faka, so it's alright. I get the money, I get the cash. You get the Bobby, you get the yash. You like to poro koto all the time. I like to fiki faka, so it's alright.
There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. When I step in at the place, them they Maya. They call me Ogaraya. They call me Ogaraya. There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. When I step in at the place, them they Maya. They call me Ogaraya. They call me Ogaraya.
I'm gonna get this money, I'ma live full of Barbados. Matu wa shokoto to the gatos. We don't need no car, I'ma need láti gbé boss. Toba fẹ́ wá gbé wa ní airport, nínú Lagos. Fowó ṣeré fita ludo, fita draft. Fita PlayStation, for one crankshaft. Money ain't a thing, never was, never will. Ọmọ tó bá lóṣù, ó di dandan kó ní skill. I get the money, I get the cash. You get the Bobby, you get the yash. You like to poro koto all the time. I like to fiki faka, so it's alright. I get the money, I get the cash. You get the Bobby, you get the yash. You like to poro koto all the time. I like to fiki faka, so it's alright.
There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. When I step in at the place, I'm the Maya. They call me
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
Look into my eyes when I'm singing to you. Take this love that I'm bringing to you. Don't tell me how this got a meaning to you. Take this love that I'm bringing to you. Oh no, 'cause I need you to feel my love in your soul. I need you to feel my touch on your body. I need you to feel my love in your soul. I need you to feel. We can be friends. It's making sense. It's doing mess. It's doing dance. You calling me baby, driving me crazy, just like dance. I'm losing patience, no, I'm losing sense. We can't be friends, oh, no, we can't pretend. Look into my eyes when I'm singing to you. Take this love that I'm bringing to you. Don't tell me how this got a meaning to you. Take this love that I'm bringing to you.
I like a smile, I like a vibe. And I ain't you again one of a kind. Yo, make me relate, make me yap. Got a lot of things on my mind. You want to come, I want to wife. Oh, now you be the angel of my life. Oh, now you be the queen of my heart. Oh, now you be the apple of my eye, no be iPhone. Even if you do me wrong, oh, I know go back for you. Even though I did on zero, you know go back for food. Even if you show me shake it, I know go back for you. Even if you do me wrong, oh, I know go back for. I want more of you. Only me want see all of you. More of you. Only me want see more of you. I want more
Only me want to see all of you, yo. Okay, auntie, I see for me you are very okay, oh. Look, our love could fly like a shampoo, okay, oh. If it not be you, who I go want, you. I like you, I get one of a kind. My love for you for a month, oh. Got a lot of things on my mind. You want to go, I want to wife, I know. Now you be the angel of my life, oh. Now you be the queen of my heart, oh. Now you be the apple of my eye, no be iPhone. Even if you do me wrong, oh, I know go back for you. Even though I did answer, oh, you know go back for you. Even if you show me shaking, I know go back for you. Even if you do me wrong,
turn up your body, make you feel alright. Flying the kele, we go cool my mind. I won't do anything I want tonight. Make we do anything we want tonight. Turn up your body, make you feel alright. Flying the kele, we go cool my mind. I won't do anything I want tonight. Make we do anything we want. Say I go take, I go take, oh yeah, oh yeah, I go take, I go take, I go take. Don't yank, take, la rote. She like go take, oh yeah, go yak, take, I go take. She done dey pay, take, oh yeah, take.
She like it fast slowly. Sometimes she dey confuse me. Me never leave her lonely. And I dey turn up when she see me.
She like Tojoro Mijo. She say she don't want no man, for me. So I give her what you need. Turn up your body, make you feel alright. Flying the kele, we go cool my mind. I won't do anything I want tonight. Make we do anything we want tonight. Turn up your body, make you feel alright. Flying the kele, we go cool my mind. I won't do anything I want tonight. Make we do anything we want. Say I go take, oh yeah, don't yank, I go take, I go take, I go take. Don't yank, take, la rote. She like go take, oh yeah, take, I go take. She done dey pay, take, oh yeah, take.
Yeah, she just because melody. She got it in where they make a man sing. And I know they leave, she know they leave. And she dey call me Mr. Romantic. And for the art, she dey bend on her knees. For the love in her, they she never see.
Have you to love you tonight, or have you love you for life? Cause she dey turn on my mind.
She say she dey for only me, oh.
So many things she gonna do, baby.
She say she
you put it fire in my eyes, oh shawty. Burning push, and I love you control myself again. Boy, you tell me your location. Only 5 minutes, baby, I get there. Boy, you tell me your location. Only 5 minutes, baby, I get there. You dey cause see a potential. All I want is to make you my baby. You dey cause see a potential. All I want is to make you my baby. Is emotional. You call it madness, but I call it love. Supernatural. I'll be keeping it real with you till the day I die. I'll be hold your hands. Baby, I know it day without you. Cause all I need is somebody when it's about you. I'm feeling so lonely. When you there, I'm gonna look at you. Will you tell me your location? Only 5 minutes, baby, I get there. Will you tell me your location? Only 5 minutes, baby, I get there. You dey cause see a potential. All I want is to make you my baby. You dey cause see a potential. All I want is to make you my baby. dance we gon' do, baby. You make my world go round. You put the fire in my eyes, oh shawty, burning bush. And I love you, control myself again.
I hope so many people. We bring you different topics and different things this week because we have people listening worldwide, and we're multicultural. We want you to listen to this station 24/7. Share it, like it, and make sure everybody listen to it. You want to record and let your friends. So we got something that that happens a lot here in Nigeria a lot, and it's called Nigerian witch children. And I don't know if you know about this branded a witch, but a lot of parents think their kids are witch kids. So, Lot, do you have any information that you can tell us about this superstitions about witch children and why some parents think their kids is really got a spell on them? Can you go into that a little bit about witch children?
Okay. This has to be something that is this is a very big topic for us to discuss, but I'll try as much as possible and share what I know about witch children and witchcraft in Nigeria. I think this is not something that has boundaries. For every part of the world you go to, there's witchcraft in different form. And in Africa, practically common, the common name they call it, is juju, which is practiced in West African countries such as Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and Ghana. Although it is an assumption that are shared by most African people, it is neither good nor bad, but it may be used for constructive purpose as well as for nefarious deeds, and it depends on how people portray it. So witchcraft, it depends. There are secret cultism, there are juju, and there is traditional worship, and they are not the same. They are pretty much different things. So children witchcraft, I would say it's maybe a different type of craft that has been maybe transformed from parents to children. There are other ones like that in Africa, and then there are other ones which a child is being initiated. Those ones are also different. And then there's another one that maybe a traditional part of worship or cultism or any other thing. Apart from that, animist or African ancestral tradition is different. That one is very, very different, where you it's part of the culture. You observe festivals, you pay homage to the ancestors, you give an alms to the masquerades and the rest of them. Those ones are different, very, very different. Now, when you talk of witchcraft in the African community, before the coming of Christianity, there are people that were accused of witchcraft and they are cast out of the society. We call them the outcast. These people that they are accused of witchcraft, or maybe killing a family member, or maybe killing a loved one, or killing somebody, they are being cast out of the society. Or before the coming of Christianity, people have been using the African traditional worship to fight witchcraft. So witchcraft on its own is a different context. You could see that it's not the same like somebody that has been born with a very super powerful gift, and then the person is using it for evil. So instead of for good, had it been the person is using it for good, then the narrative would have been different, But most often it is being sparked by evil deeds. So these are some of the things that has given this imagery of witchcraft, of when people's perception and imagery about witchcraft in Nigeria. So when you talk of children witchcraft, I think it has to do with the witchcraft that does with children, whereby the operation and everything is being done with the children. The target is children and everything is children. I don't know very much about witchcraft, but I'm given an insight of what I know. I think there was a time I witnessed a child that is being cleansed. A child that has been accused of witchcraft. So when you ask these children, after a serious interrogation, they will tell you that in the night they have a spirit, they live like a spirit leaving their bodies, and then they go to another place, another dimension, and have maybe they commune with other beings, and then they come back to their own body, mortal flesh, or their human body. And then they were telling you very strange and weird things, and except if you're spiritually sound, or except if you're like inclined, you won't be able to resonate with some of these things they're saying. But for me, I think I don't used to see them like the way the rest of the world see them, because the first thing I see the human aspect in them, one, and then the other side of them is what that doesn't concern me, the spiritual. I have my own belief and perspective about the spirit world, and as much as I believe every human being has the right to live life, and I don't criticize people like that, but I'm just saying this, and I'm sharing from an experience of what I've seen. The boy will be interrogated, beaten. Sometimes they will use some charms or some jars or some spells on the child, and then if it didn't work out, they will take them to a nearest church, and then they will pray for them, and then after some time there will be a relief or something. So I've seen it, I've experienced it. When I was in Benin, when I was working in Benin, I've seen it happen. Here in Lagos, I've seen it happen. In Abuja, I've seen it happen. It is very common in Nigeria. But there's something in my tribe and tradition. Apart from witchcraft, this thing they call Nenji. Like Nenji, I don't know. That's my tribe. Like I told you, my ancestors came from the ancient Kemite, where the Negos. So today my tribe is called the Angas, Ngas, Ngas. So which was the ancient Negos from ancient Egypt and Sudan that came here to Nigeria. So there's this thing they call Nenji. That Nenji is usually common among women, where women transmit witchcraft. It can be translated to witchcraft in English. So they transmit it to women, especially children. So like mothers to children, like mother to a female or something. I've seen it like it has been it has been very common when I was growing up, especially. But now with the level of growth and civilization, the issue of witchcraft has reduced drastically in Nigeria, but it is still there. Because especially in some rural areas where you go, apart from the urban cities, like it's very minimal in the cities. What is actually common in the city is occultism, and in the other parts of the rural areas is witchcraft, maybe in the village or something. So where people often regard traditional doctors as witch doctors, which I don't see them as witch doctors. There are ones who do I think the ones who do evil are actually different. They should be given a different name. There are people who do good with the gift they have. It is a spiritual gift. For somebody to have a spiritual gift and control elements, do you know what I mean by elements? To be able to control fire, water, to be able to transform to anything, to be able to, it's a gift. For me, I think it's a gift that need to be harnessed. Okay, what do you think Americans and the Western world came and stole our oracles? Went to change it to another thing, convert it to another thing. I have seen oracles being stolen in Africa. I have seen where they go to shrines and rip them. They take some of our spiritual carvings. Those carvings are not just wood, they are spiritual beings in them, and they take them to other places just to go and keep them in their own places. So what do you think they're doing with them? So for me, I think I believe in the aspect of the yin and the yang, and I believe that people can be good, and I believe that people can be evil. It depends on the motive. It depends on their consciousness. It depends on their conscience of the level of judgment within a self, the person's self. before it goes out, the judgment goes out. There are people in the society, in our own village, like in villages in Nigeria, that does maybe psychic reading, but in a different way. They do, like, maybe if there's a poison, if somebody is poisoned through a food or drink, the doctor, the traditional herbalist will give them a potion to drink, and then they will vomit all out the poison. So these are something that the normal medical hospitals cannot do. They can't. They can only say, okay, let's give you some drip, let's give you some injection, let's give you some this and that. But the traditional herbalist knows the herbs, the healthy concoctions they can give you, so that you'll be able to take, and then it will kill you the ailment that is disturbing you. So would you consider that person a witch? I don't think so. It depends on the motive. So, like, my narrative is different. So another thing is, there was this woman that saved an African child called the Anja. Anja subsequently took the boy to Children's Center in Nigeria, where he miraculously survived. She named him Hope, and the rescue operation became a major catalyst in Loven's struggle to tell the rest of the world about witch children and the superstition that prevailed in Nigeria. There are so many witchcraft activities in Nigeria. There are so many evil activities in Nigeria, and there are so many gifts in Nigeria. So you see, where you can find evil, it means there's also an element of good there too. So, like I said, good people are everywhere, bad people are everywhere. So this is my take on this. I think maybe sometimes we will still need to expatiate on that, but this is my take on which children in Africa and Nigeria especially, So let's enjoy some songs, and then we come back and wrap up the show.
I go on and on again. He blowing on my phone, but I'm ignoring him. He thinking he the one, I got like 4 of him. Yeah, I'm sitting first class like valedictorian. Came a long way from rag to riches. 5-star bitch, yeah, I taste so delicious. Let him lick the plate, yeah, I make him do the dishes. Now he on news 12, cause a bitch we're missing. Sheesh, about to catch another fight. The apple bottom make him wanna bite. I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night.
Money on my mind. Don't care what they yarning about me in particular. Call me. Out here on the road chasing my dream because I know chasing for me. Ololola de mango molo. Rokoto idisho molo. If you want to let you come alone, if you find anybody na money I want. They hear what people they do. Want to get a shakeleti love. So love when I wanna get another one, I go take and do waiting I love, waiting you love, love you waiting I love, waiting I love, I go do and without my heart, go no be vodka, Mr. Money Changer, but I know the ways that Mr. Money Changer. Just carry on, if you no time. Bad boy day, me I day fine, and at the same time, me I day high. Motrotomo stand out, calm down, you go day fine. Like fine wine, no decline. Sick about it, extraordinary things. Show me love, I go show you more. Bó ṣe ń ṣe, ọmọ yìí don déjà ṣíríkìlì mú fọ́ fàyè, yéyé. Ọlọ́ládé máa ń gbọ́mọ lọ, kọ̀rọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ ìdí ṣọ́mọ lọ. Ẹ̀fí wọn sílẹ̀ jẹ́ kó máa lọ ní to find anybody na money I want. But they hear wetin people dey talk. Wọ́n ti gbé Àṣàkẹ́ létí lọ. Sí love na one no get another one, I go take and do wetin I love, wetin you love, baby wetin I love, waiting I love, I go do and without my heart. Go no be vodka.
I said no go escocodo. Tell you the boss in my pololo. Ya me casa lo chocomoto. Girl, if you balance Diego, I give you paper. No go do ni Diego, my Maradona. Girl, if I love your sueto, I'm a farisa. Girl, your back keep it connected, and I go follow your cresco. Today, dale cresco. Yeah.
want to reach ecstasy. I want to have sex.
Yes. Well, I hope you all enjoying this program. I hope you're enjoying the food, the recipe, and everything that we bring. And before I start off some more topics, more things, I just want to let you know China is built over 20,000 houses in Africa, and they doing this like in 3 days with the technology they doing a lot in South Africa and all over. And they're taking all the homeless people and they putting them inside of homes.
Yes.
I don't know if that's good or bad, because now they taking all the houses, they switching everything, they're making everything modern. But guess what? China own the land and own the house and own the people soon. So it look like to me, the way China is moving so fast, they're gonna be taking over Africa very soon. And you know, China population is a lot of people, and they're gonna bring in their people inside. And don't you think that can wipe a lot of Africa out of their own country? And then they'll be smart enough to make a deal with Americans somewhere to let more Africans come in. In the meantime, they take over the land. What do you say, Lot? This is very important topic. Give me some insight on this.
It is very important, like you said, because China, has an interest in Africa, and a lot of Africans don't know what is going on. It is a silent interest. Like if somebody comes to your place and say, let me help you, let me give you everything that you need, but I'm also interested in a little portion of your land, your little environment. China is teaching Kenya their language, Chinese official language. Is teaching people. In fact, you can go to China and study. They will give you free scholarship from Kenya and other countries like that. They are giving aid to Africa. If you cannot pay, they will ask it back in resources. So China has provided, in fact, apart from that and housing money helping, they have provided 189 million doses of vaccine to 27 African countries. Joint production of vaccines in Africa now has an annual capacity of about 400 million doses. So the African CDC headquarters building has topped out and is expected to be completed next year. I mean, it is completed already. So why is China helping African countries? I think to put it in written form, officially they will say China and Africa are having a new relationship or mutual beneficial economic, political and regional alliance. But China sees Africa as a source for raw materials and energy. They are desperately needed to support its industrial and economic activities and growth. So they are interested in our resources. There is no place on earth that has rich mineral resources like Africa, apart from oil that the Middle East has and other places, Venezuela, Russia and the rest of them. Other places have wealth, they have resources, but not like Africa. So Africa has everything. And it doesn't look like it can finish. It's not something that can finish. We are sitting on wealth. We are sitting on generational wealth. But the curse of Africa has always been the leadership. So of course they will pass through the leadership, buy some of our leaders, and then you tell them what to do, and then they will be manipulated. So they tap our resources, and most of our people get nothing. So most of the time it's always the leaders that get. So you see, these are serious problems that need to be addressed, because Africa is almost like the Germans are having interest in Africa, the French are having interest in Africa, the Western the Americans are having interest in Africa, and you can name it. Many countries, most of these powerful nations on earth are interested in Africa. The Arab world has penetrated Africa through religion. The Western world has penetrated Africa through the popular culture and socialization, and of course religion. So you see, my own people are being majorly distracted. But another thing is that we Africans also have our own problem, and these people are using the opportunity of these problems to penetrate us. A common Nigerian man cannot love another fellow Nigerian man. So if you listen to Burna Boy's album, he said there's no love in Nigeria, and this has brought a lot of controversies. So, but the guy is saying right, he's right, and people are beginning to say something things. A lot of Nigerians agree with him, and others were angry at him for saying such a thing. So, but the truth is, we Africans have our own problem. Before we even go to the problem of Chinese and all the rest of them, we Africans, a black man doesn't completely love his brother at all. So you see, it is instead of like if a brother is gifted, another brother is supposed to be learning from the person, but the hate will come in. So this has always been the problem. So if Africans cannot be united, then the colonizer will keep tapping. And there's nothing you can do about it, because that's already a hedge for them. That's the hole that they will use to penetrate, because an African man cannot go to China and tell them what to do with their place, because those people are united, very, very well united. China people are united, despite the fact that they have Mandarin, they have some small tribes. They are the highest populated people on earth. They are very well united. A Chinese defends his country, defends his fellow brother, Chinese brother, and can die for his brother. So they don't care about Western culture, they don't care about African culture, they preserve their own culture. China, for example, so they want to extend Chinese power. They are fighting for their country, they are fighting for their nation. So this is how it goes. So as long as we are not united in Africa, a lot of manipulation will continue to go on for a very long time. If it is not corrected in this generation, then probably the next generation will correct it, but we have a long way to go. And of course, reports is just reaching me right now that the Nigerian government has reached out to our brothers and sisters in Libyan prison. Nigerian government has repatriated 298 stranded Nigerians from Libya prisons, and this is a great news for us. And welcome home, brothers and sisters, and we pray that you find solace as you have come home to reunite with your people. Welcome back home, ladies and gents. And in case you're joining us, this is King and Queen Radio / Brooklyn Station, and I am the grandson of the ancestors, and of course together holding it down. I'm under the wing of the CEO herself, Zina Palin, aka Sister Dubon. We're holding it down every Monday night from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and of course 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning West African Time. We don't know how it is in your own side of the world, but we believe that you're having a great time listening to this beautiful program. So it's one of those things. And there is a lady called Esther Raphael from Calabar that has been trending in the early hours of today in Nigeria. She has been trending for the past 12-15 hours now. She has been trending. Like, I mean, since yesterday in the evening, like, she has been trending up to this morning. The news has been trending all over the country. What happened? This girl was having she was jacking off herself. Let me use that word. She was jacking herself. She was having a great time, and then she went on and filmed herself. She filmed herself sleeping with herself. She was sleeping with herself, and then she filmed herself, and she sent the video to her boyfriend, and the boyfriend was later threatening her that if she didn't give him money, he's going to leak the video. Now it go on and on. I don't know what happened. Later on, she sent him some money, but the guy said no, he was keep demanding. He was demanding for millions of naira, thousands of dollars. So the lady refused that she doesn't have that money. I don't know whether she refused or she truly don't have it. I don't know. But the guy later leaked the video. He leaked the video online. This has been going viral, and it is very toxic, and oh God, I can only imagine how broken this lady will be. But my question is, if you're listening to our voices right now, we would love to hear your opinion. 718-253-7273. Make sure you add +1 to the number +1 718-253-7273. Then you send us a message or you call us, and then we'll be able to respond. So what is your take on that? This girl filmed herself and sent it to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend couldn't keep her privacy, and then he leaked the video online and it was going viral. So please, what is your take on that? For my opinion, I think I have a question to throw for her. My sister, why did you record yourself? You can have a great time, you can jog, you can have a great time sleeping with yourself, you can do other stuffs with yourself, but excuse me, why did you video yourself? Why did you record yourself in the first place? So this is my question on that. We would love to hear your opinions wherever you're reaching us from. Let's hear your opinions. Drop it on our social media platforms, and we'll be able to read out your comments and your shout out. Big shout out to all my brothers and sisters in Obalende. A big shout out to Army Officer Saint Ajia in Army Barracks in Obalende. A big shout out to all of you guys in Navy Town and in Apapa. We send you a big shout out to you guys out there. And of course, we are almost approaching the end of the show, but then we will still love and respond to your opinions and comments. And of course, we're hungry to hear your opinions. So what do you also think about the Burna Boy album? Drop your review. Let's hear what you say about what you think about the Burna Boy album, which is an Afrobeat, a fusion, and hip hop. Shout out to Jizza, respect to the Wu-Tang Clan. We grew up listening to you guys, man. You changed a lot of narratives, and the hip hop community is grateful for what Burna Boy did, fusing Afrobeat together with hip hop, bringing two cultures together, which is for me a multicultural conglomerate, or a multicultural fusion, like bringing cultures together. So it's a very perfect and a good fusion to bring genres together. So my generation, I'm proud of this generation because we're breaking the boundaries of genre. Somebody can do Afro hip hop, Afro reggae, Afro dancehall. Somebody can do hip hop reggae, hip hop dance, hip hop jazz, hip hop rock, hip hop R&B, hip hop trap, hip hop gospel, hip hop anything. As long as you know what you're doing, you'll be able to fuse the sounds. So is one of those things.
It's such a lovely morning here, and we just had good times.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you, each and everyone who enjoyed this morning with us and who was with us early.
Yeah.
Tell a friend, tell a neighbor,
tell a friend,
tell everybody you love. Share this page and let everybody know the good news and things that we talk about.
Yeah.
And you can write us at africanreader@aol.com.
Yes.
And if you like to talk to me, that's +1 718-253-7273. Simply write me on kingandqueenradio.com. On my Facebook, Zena Palin, ZINA PALIN, Zena Palin, King and Queen Radio. Our Instagram, Brooklyn Station. Don't forget, we have the networks, and Lot will tell you all the networks we have, so you can join them and go on there and like and share and join each one of them. So Lot, let them know what's going on with the web pages so they can join and like and share.
Yes.
And before I go, Sagittarius, this is the time for you to really buckle down and get to know the person you're with. Virgo, this is the time for you to clean up your act and make sure everything go the way you want to see it, not the way other people tell you to do it. Capricorn, this is the time for you to make business and money and put all the foolishness aside. And Aquarius, your lucky number is 6, 14, 32, 19, 8. And for more of this great horoscope, go on sisterdubong.com. And for spiritual cleansing in your home, prayers, go on sisterdubong.com and visit on YouTube, Sister Dubong Special Prayers. Share and like. Let us see how you care for us by sharing and like the pages and supporting our artists. It's very important. You click on the links to the artists so their numbers can go up. I want to thank each and everyone again for joining this great program. And I want to say to all the artists out there we support, we love you dearly. Yeah. And to the staff and everybody, Dr. DJ Popman, big up to you, and make sure you get DJ Popman, make sure you get the beautiful song that he has. Yeah. Well, again, pleasant good morning, and enjoy the food that was recommended to you early. Mm-hmm. And until the next show, Monday night, that's from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yes.
And don't forget DJ Pop Mark show is coming up this Friday. You're going to enjoy it. DJ Pop Mark, his special hours of bringing you the best of Afro beats. So tune in every Friday from 1 p.m. to 3. Again, during the week, you'll be able to watch the show. So make sure you're listening or join the pages down. KingandQueenRadio.com, BrokerStation.com, SisterDubong.com. And at this moment, I'm going to leave it up to Lot, and I'm signing off.
All right.
Au revoir.
Yeah. Thank you. We have come to the end of today's episode of the Monday Night Show. A lot of people are dropping their comments. I see you, Simon Sachs. I see you, Adeboje. I see you, Fomi. I see you, Shola. I see you, James. I see you guys. Big shout out to you guys for tuning in always. And we say thank you. We are going to do the program again, same time, same station. Next week, Monday. You know, this is what we always do. Righteously, we stick to our time and make sure that we give you the best. And we will see you again next week, same time, same station. For now, goodbye and enjoy your day.
Shake that body, girl. Get my body, girl. Rock that body, girl. Get my man, body, girl. Me love the way you make me cry. Ever since you came to my life, you are mine. I wonder if you get that smile, I found that bust my mind. So don't waste my time, and I call it, because I love you too now. Me throw a fade, me throw a fade. What's the main dia, me say that, me throw a fade. Don't waste my time, me throw a fade. Me throw a fade, yeah.